So this is a beautiful Celadon glaze QIANLONG imperial vase, and the interesting thing about it, it was found only quite recently in a West Berkshire estate in the United Kingdom country. And yes, it's in very good condition, and it is a very good example of the imperial decorative language. It's not cluttered at all. We see there's some areas that have no decoration at all, and it has these rouille borders here. It has the palm blades. It has further bordered. It has these razor sharp key fret lines here. And it comes with an incised band of LOTUS here, and then the main band, which is in high relief, with overlapping LOTUS leaves and further rouille subjects here. Then a petal border, again overlapping and finishing in a beautiful small rouille scepter. And the thing with these glazes is that it's not only about the high relief, but it's also about how you carve overlapping layers of biscuit below the glaze and make the glaze itself pool to the extent that these stark contrasts are created. And the difficulty of that is that the incision work has to be very precise, very deep, and very nuanced to create the contrast as we see it on this piece. These wines are all carved with overlapping sections, so to create a three-dimensional picture with the associated glaze pooling, which is very, very complex to create. On the other hand, this petal here in stark contrast is almost flat, with the relief between the petals being probably 1/10 of a millimeter, yet super precise glaze pooling showing exactly the different leaves. Overall, a masterpiece of biscuit carving, and clearly of the period. We know that this type of design has been copied all over the 19th century, well into the Republic areas, and there are some modern copies around as well. Typically, the later the pieces, the more cluttered they are, and the later the pieces, they go away from the simplicity of the imperial decor language, because the problem is the more simpler actually the design is, the more the problems with the glaze pooling, the incision works, and the relief carving get exposed. So to create a work like this, you have to manage your technical carving skills and the controlling of the glaze up to total perfection. We see here, I'd say, to add insult to injury, we see the mark here, the QIANLONG mark. We see it's an intaglio mark that is incredibly precise. And note that the characters are raised and that the gaps in the characters are actually the glaze pooling, which is inverse of the incised marks. Yeah? So this is intaglio, not incision. It is found on other pieces, on several ones. So we know that this mark exists, but only on very good pieces. And when we compare it, there's of course lots of examples around. They're all different. There are very rarely vases that are the same. This one compares best to one that was offered, not sold, just offered at Sotheby's Hong Kong in 2011 at 20 million Hong Kong dollars, which is roughly almost 3 million euros converted and adjusted to inflation. It has a nearly identical glaze, color nuance. It also has relief, but the relief is with Qilong dragons. It's a bit more cluttered. It's not as precise and simple as this one. And then another one to compare with would be an earlier one. We believe this one is probably around 1770, 1780, plus minus a few years. The other one is probably around 1750. It has more a deep celadon, more greenish glaze. This one is really like the classic Qingbai glaze, very, very difficult to achieve. And that one sold for roughly €500,000, also with a simple decor and very fine and very clear imperial language. But overall, of course, with an estimate of 75,000 euros low estimate and 150,000 euros high estimate, accurately priced, given the superb condition for this imperial piece. And we think there's going to be significant bidding action, of course, on this one. So we hope that it will find a new home of someone who can appreciate this quality of imperial porcelain.